Hello and welcome to the SecureX update for July 2021. My name is Ben Greenbaum, and in this episode we're going to be covering the changes that were made in versions 1.75, 1.76, and 1.77. Those changes appear in the sign-on, in the dashboard, in threat response, and orchestration, and I've got a couple of new references that I want to show you, and as usual I'm going to leave you with some resources that you can use to learn more about SecureX. But to start with, let's have a look at the sign-on. What's new in the sign-on is that once you have signed on with SecureX Signon, you get immediate login access across all of the other products and tools that are using SecureX Signon. So here we are in the SecureX dashboard. I'm going to open up the ribbon and I'm going to launch threat response, and it just launches it. I'm not prompted for credentials. I don't have to log in again with that SecureX Signon credential pair. Let's do it again. Let's open up the ribbon, and this time we're going to go to Threat Grid, launch Threat Grid, and here we are in Threat Grid, or Cisco Secure Malware Analysis. No logging in process required. Let's go back to the dashboard, and in the dashboard, let's have a look at the newsfeed. We're going to pop the newsfeed out from the right-hand side, and you're going to see the newsfeed looks about the same, but it has a new backend and some new content, and content will be updated more often, so start looking to the right every so often and get some news. In threat response, we've got a number of changes. Let's start with how tables are displayed. So we're going to see this in the intelligence tab, but really everywhere that we're using tables to display information, you're going to see these changes. So you can see that I've got the ability to expand any of these rows, that they're collapsed by default to save space, but I can expand any of them to see more information. I can sort by some of the columns. In this case, the start end times of these judgments. I can select which fields are going to be displayed. So let's get rid of TLP just because. And TLP disappears. And these changes are, like I said, across everywhere that we've got tables. You can see in indicators, sightings, and so on, in snapshots as well. Pretty much everywhere that there are tables, we've made these improvements. But while we're on snapshots, let's open up a snapshot so that we can show you MultiSelect. So graph node MultiSelect is a thing that people have been asking for a little while, and we've now released it. I'm going to maximize the graph to make this a little bit more easy to see, but it's simply the ability to grab more than one node at a time so that you can move them around in groups and reposition them more easily. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. So I'm going to click this file name to select it. That's not new. I can move it around. And if I click this file name, I've now selected that one instead. But if I shift-click this node, and then also shift-click this file name, then you can see they're both circled in blue. And now I can move both of them at once. And I can also select everything that's associated with a node. So now I'm going to Alt-click. On other keyboards, it would be Option-click. But I'm going to Alt-click this file hash. And that selects everything that's connected to that file hash. So you can see everything that's got an arrow to that file hash is now also selected. I move them all as a group. Now I'm still moving this file name here, and the reason for that is that you don't actually deselect anything when you add to the selection group. So if I want to deselect this, I have to shift-click that to remove it. I can also Alt-click something to remove everything attached to that thing. You see now what's selected is just these two items here, which is a little bit goofy, but I'm trying to show how it works. I can clear the entire selection by just double-clicking any white space, and that brings everything back. So this is handy anytime when you want to be able to quickly move a group of nodes and have them keep their relative position to each other intact, but move them away from, or perhaps closer to, or simply around the rest of the nodes in your graph. And the last thing we're going to talk about in threat response are some more third-party integrations. We have released 7 new third-party integrations in these releases, and you can see them listed on the screen. If you've got any of these technologies, then you can now tie them into your SecureX installation and use them to view either collected threat intelligence from your many different sources or sightings in your environment, whether that's on-premises or cloud. And if you've got Alpha Mountain AI, AWS Guard Duty, Devo, MISP, Recorded Future, Splunk, or Sumo Logic, you should grab these integrations. They are Cisco hosted, so all you have to do is add the module and then tie those technologies that you're already using into the rest of your Cisco and third-party SecureX stack. Moving on to orchestration, as usual, we've got some new workflows. So we've got 5 that we're going to talk about, 32 to 36 inclusive. 3 of these are for Cisco Secure Network Analytics, previously known as StealthWatch Enterprise. And a couple of them offer response actions in other products, Cisco Secure Endpoint and Umbrella, to take response actions against things detected in CSNA. And then the last one generates casebooks based on things that were detected in CSNA. The last two workflows deal with Microsoft Graph and Azure Active Directory, and they do lookups in Azure Active Directory and see if sign-ins were blocked, if accounts have been locked out, and if new users had been created. And in each of those cases, it then posts a message to a WebEx Teams room just to let the operators on shift know that these things have been detected or have happened. So now we've covered everything that was in our initial agenda. Thank you for your attention and your interest. As usual, I'm going to leave you with some additional resources that you can use to learn more. The blogs at Cisco, blogs.cisco.com, and there are a number of these entries that are tagged as being SecureX relevant, so hit that link that's shown on your screen. Just an easy way to keep up to date on what's new and what's improved and what's happening in the world of SecureX. LearnSecureX.cisco.com is the SecureX Academy, your one-stop shop, first place to go to learn more about SecureX, what it does, how you can use it, how it helps, and so on. CS.co/CSTA for Cisco Secure Technical Alliance is where you can go to learn more about third-party integrations of all kinds in the Cisco Secure portfolio. The next link is SecureX Videos. That's cs.co/SecureX_videos, and that's just where all the SecureX videos that I find and create or have access to for any reason, they all go there. After that is another video link for update videos. That's where this series of videos specifically go. So if you want to find out what's been going on, what's being added lately, what's the newest feature right now, go check that out. And you can also, of course, check the release notes in the product to get text explanations of the changes that have been happening. Thank you very much for using SecureX. Thank you very much for staying on top of what you can do with SecureX. I'm Ben Greenbaum signing off. Best wishes using SecureX to secure your environments even better together.